Hi everyone, welcome to the product session of LMCM. Today we are going to discuss a couple of things that we have been working on in the product with the product. Few things that we have released recently, and then a couple of things that would be coming out in this month. And post that we would have a feedback session where you guys can sort of tell us about the issues that you're facing or anything else that we can build in the product to help you sort of become more successful on the platform. So the things that went out recently were micro polls and GIF support. If you guys haven't tried out micro polls in your app, you can access them. Okay, let me just move this. You can access them from the attachment icon within your chat rooms, and through that you can add a poll within a chat room without. And people that have been around on the platform for some time would know that earlier you had to create a whole chat room for conducting polls within your communities. Now you can add polls to your existing chat rooms. What this also gives you flexibility is to run quizzes within your community. So we have seen couple of examples where community managers went ahead and did a bunch of quizzes within their community. So this is one of the ways that you could sort of use to engage your community members. With that, we have also listed down a bunch of examples for polls depending on your community category. I'll reshare this link in the features and queries chat room on the LMCM, where you could sort of use these as inspiration to sort of set up polls in your community if you are facing any issues there. Apart from that, we also now have GIF support in our app, which would enable you to have more engaging conversation within your community. GIFs, as we all know, that there's no more explanation needed on GIFs. They're a really fun way to get your message across, and it sort of increases a friendliness factor within your community, which leads to deeper relationships. So I would definitely encourage you to go heavy on GIFs in your communications. It would definitely help in creating a more engaging environment within your community. Next up is what are the features that are to be released in September. A bunch of things coming. First one is paid events. You would now be able to conduct paid events within your community and for non-members of the community as well. The experience would be something like this. So on your CM dashboard, you could go and create an event. Within an event, you will be able to select the type of an event, set up the cost for it, and depending on let's say you want to conduct an event for which the cost is 1,000 for non-members, but only 500 for your community members. So you can set up these things here. All right. So on your CM dashboard, you can go and create paid events where you could select, okay, this is the cost of the event that I want. For non-members, the cost is going to be, let's say, 1,000 rupees. And for community members, the cost would only be 500 rupees. With that, you could also add marketing details. That is, who are the instructors, if there are any highlights, member testimonials, FAQs, etc., which you could use to sort of sell events outside the community. The UI would be very similar to what event pages, web pages are being created for you. So no changes there. It just makes it easier for you to do it yourself rather than having a dependency on on our ops team. With that, we are also bringing analytics to your events. So you will be essentially once the event is live, you'll be able to actually see, okay, these are all the users that come up in this list would essentially be the ones who have registered for your event. With that, you would also be able to see, okay, out of the ones that have registered, these many people have actually attended my event. So this would make it easier for you to track, okay, given that these users are not attending my events, maybe I should reach out to them and understand what can be done better so that they can actually get value for the membership that they have paid for. Because one of the common themes that we have come across while doing feedback calls with members who are not renewing memberships has been that, hey, I did not attend any event, that's why I don't think I should renew. So getting users to actually attend the event should be like one of your primary targets if it is an event-based community that you're running, and that would sort of ensure that they are actually getting value, which would in turn make them renew membership, and you could essentially earn more money from the same member. Next up is another common thing that we have come across in our support function, and also on looking at chat rooms where events have been conducted, that people ask for recordings of the events, or they ask for can you reshare the PDF that you were sort of going through in the event. So now whoever is creating an event or the community manager would get an option to actually add event recordings or attachments. So once an event is created, you could go to this button. This would only be visible to you if you are a creator of an event or if you are a community manager. Here you could add in all the details. This is what the attachment is about. This is the recording URL. If there are any PDF files, etc., that you want to sort of add, all of that can be done here. And the members would essentially see it like this: event recording and attachment. They'll be able to access the files that you have uploaded, and the same would be also visible in the event tab that was launched. Next thing that I wanted to discuss, and this has been a widely requested feature, is enabling direct messaging with your community members. That is that community members can reach out to community managers on direct messages, but won't be able to talk to each other via DMs. This has been a common sort of request that has come up during our previous LMCM sessions, and even what you have communicated to your category managers. So once the feature is released, only you would get this direct messages section on your home feed. You have an option to whether you want to enable this feature within your community or not, because we have also gotten feedback that some of the community managers don't want this feature. So you click on this section, it takes you to the community setting, and you enable direct messages. Once you enable direct messages, all these direct messages would be essentially created in this particular view. So once you click on this tab, direct messages with your community members would be set up. So now you can have private conversations with individuals without having the need to create secret chat rooms. So if you are doing one-on-one consultations, you want to do assignment reviews, you want to take certain feedback from a particular community member, they want to reach out to you for some particular issues, all of that can be managed through here. Next up, member groups. So over time, what we have gotten feedback on is that there are different types of members that I have in my community, and I want them to have different accesses to different chat rooms. This might be in a case where membership plan A has some value and membership plan B has different value. So the access of the content and the chat room should differ. To enable this, what we have done is we have created a functionality of adding member groups. So on your CM dashboard, you'll start getting this feature where you can create member groups. There would be some groups that would be created by default, and when you then create a chat room, you would get an option of actually adding those particular. So when you create a chat room, you'll get an option of selecting member groups. That, hey, I'm creating a secret chat room. I only want members with subscription plan 1 to be a part of it. So this would make it really easy to sort of set up private chat rooms with a group of audience, which we have gotten feedback that, hey, it becomes too tedious to create new secret chat rooms every time a new batch of my course joins or every time a new type of member joins. All of that would be basically simplified through this process. What would also happen is, let's say if you have created a secret chat room with subscription plan A and a new member joins in through that subscription plan, they would be auto added to this particular chat. So you would, once you have set this up, let's say you have set up a greetings chat room or networking chat room for a particular subscription plan, every single person buying that subscription plan would get auto added to these. So you wouldn't need to, every time a person joins in, you wouldn't need to do that effort of adding them to the respective chat rooms. All of that would be automated. I know that there are a bunch of features that I'm talking about. It's just that all of this has been in development for past couple of months, and it has been aligned by the nature of development that all of that would come to you within this month. So a pretty exciting month to sort of start managing your community even more efficiently. Next up is introductions room. A common thing that we have heard is, hey, there are too many intro rooms on my home feed. It becomes really hard to manage which are the relevant chat rooms and which are intro rooms in my home feed. It creates a lot of clutter and it becomes difficult to use the app. So that's why what we are bringing in are two things. One is that if you don't want introductions room in your community, you can simply turn them off. The members and everybody else would be communicated of the same. The introductions room and the intro rooms would be hidden from your community, from your home feed and your members' home feed. So it would become decluttered. Second thing is, intro rooms would not now show up in your home feed. If there is any new message or any new intro, new member joins in, or there's some level of activity in their intro rooms, you'll be able to access that through this button. So on your home feed, you'll get an unread message. You go in, you'll be able to sort of view, okay, these particular chat rooms or intro rooms have had activity. I can go in and see what is happening. And the idea is that all of these intros are essentially short-term threads. A member joins in, there is a bit of activity for a day or two, and then it goes away. There is no point of keeping them around in your home feed all through your lifetime on the app. And that's why we are basically cleaning up that clutter here. Okay, I guess the last thing here is that we are also removing inactive rooms concept from the app. So one of the feedback that we have gotten is that if there is no activity in my chat room, it becomes inactive, and then I have to go and make it active again. It's a bit confusing. There are too many concepts in the app. There is follow, unfollow, active, inactive. It's getting overwhelming to use the app for my members. So what we are doing is we are removing the concept of inactive rooms from the app, and the experience essentially would be that all your chat rooms would be in a single vertical feed on your home, and it would be sorted by the last activity, and the experience would be pretty much similar to what you see in WhatsApp. So whichever chat rooms have had activity would come on top, and the rest of the things would sort of be below them. So let me just recap a bit. Multi-session events would allow you to create recurring events, workshop bootcamps. Discounts would allow you to set up coupon codes across all the services that you're offering, and you can select whether you want all the members to have access to for discount codes to work, or you want specific members that those discount codes should work for. With that, we are also bringing in some enhancements to the CM dashboard, which would give you transparency on the revenue that you're making on a daily basis, and it would also automate the payouts that you get at the end of the month. This would ensure that if there's any sort of discrepancy in this particular part, you can raise it right there and then, rather than having to wait at the end of the payment cycle. Apart from that, we are also bringing a courses module which would enable you to create more structured courses within the app. Some of you are already running courses with the help of membership plans and creating the secret chat rooms. We are just going to make it much easier to do that with this module. And we would also sort of bring in sort of features which would enable you to even store content on the app with regards to the courses that you are running. Post that, in November, we are bringing single community experience. So right now, when you look at the home feed on the app, or on the web platform, if a user has joined multiple communities, they are sort of switching between all of these communities easily, which sort of takes away a bit of attention from your community in particular. And that's what single community experience is essentially going to solve for. This is also the first step towards us enabling branded communities, which would mean that you could run a community using the LikeMinds platform on your own URL. So let's say there's a Ruchi has a website called momshares.in. momshares.in/community would essentially open up the LikeMinds app, and everywhere it would be just for an end member, it would look like that, hey, Ruchi has built this app for herself and she's running a community on it. So this is basically enabling you to sort of run your own branded communities and have all the attention of your members towards your brand, if that is what your intention is and that is what your requirement is. And we are also going to add a community payment gateway integration. So right now, some of the users have expressed their interest that, hey, I want to integrate my own Stripe account to the payment service, and all the payment should come directly to me rather than having you to manage these things in between. We would basically enable that in November. Again, depending on whether you actually require this particular thing, because there are a bunch of CMs who prefer that, hey, I don't want to set up my own Razorpay account or Stripe account and go through all the compliance headache. You take care of it and you give me a payment on a specific day of the month. So depending on whether this is a requirement for you or not, you can choose to opt in for these features. With that, we'll also bring in assignments and tasks, which would enable specially learning communities to actually have a better community experience on the app. So let's say if you are running a language learning community and there are specific things that your members need to do to actually upskill, you could set up those assignments or tasks within the community, and they'll be able to sort of submit those to you. You'll be able to give them feedback, and all that interaction would be sort of managed with on the app itself. Some of you are already sort of doing that within your communities and are probably using secret chat rooms or normal chat rooms for that. We'll just structure out the entire flow and make it easier for you to manage it. Apart from that, in December, we are planning to bring in video conferencing in our app. So once this is released, essentially you wouldn't need Zoom. You wouldn't need to add in any links when you create an event. All of it would be automated on the platform. You can go start a video meeting, and users wouldn't have to leave your community and go to another app. All of that would be done within the LikeMinds app, and it would be very easy to actually manage the recordings of your events as well, which you could in turn sort of turn into content and use it for acquisition for future members. Apart from that, another exciting thing that would be coming out is upselling customizations. So for example, let's say you are selling services such as memberships, then you have events, then you have courses, and then you have one-on-one consultations within your community. And you want that every single person who buys a membership should be sold a course. But anybody who has done a one-on-one consultation, they just need to renew it, or they need to buy a membership. Whatever order that you want to set up, that depending on what the user has purchased initially, this is what they should purchase as their next step. And you want to set up communications around it, you want to set up pop-ups in the app, all of that would be doable from your dashboard. So you can set up the sales journey for your member essentially. And this would include, let's say you just want a member to keep on renewing their membership, and you don't need anything else to be sold. that is already being done, and that would still be supported. Apart from that, there are a couple of other features that I would sort of talk more about in the coming months. One of them is message receipts. This basically gives you analytics on who has read your message, how many users the message has been delivered to. Apart from that, there's library within your community, which would basically manage all the content within your community and make it easier for users to access it. And then there are referral improvements, community leaderboards, micro communities, etc. Roadmap around November and December is definitely tentative right now. If there are any new, more important requirements that come up from your end, we are more than happy to sort of accommodate those and push things around.